Okay, Koan, you're down to our second to the last topic for this series. Okay, on Friday, I will be on Friday we'll be having our Koan exam post test for CSA in science, which could have been your Koan favorite subject if naalang on tay klase. Kaso, we're not given this chance. So, let's proceed. Let's begin with Earth Science. From from among all the sciences that we have had so far, this is the most interesting for me. One of the most interesting. But anyway, if you have questions later on, do not hesitate to send a message sa group chat natin, okay? Ang importante is makatubag mo sa atong quiz ay post sa long Friday. Sige. So let's begin with Earth Science. But despite the fact that it's called Earth Science, as its name suggests, it is not just revolving around Earth as a planet. I mean, what makes up Earth, but it also looks into Earth as a member of the solar system and the universe in general. So let's begin. So, first one is let's discuss the solar systems. I know you already know it. The Earth is part of the solar system. No, sige. So, just to give you a recap, the solar system is composed of the sun. The sun is not just any star, but it's actually the name of our star, the star where the eight planets revolve. So the eight planets go around the sun and it's maintained by gravity. Okay, I could not explain it to you without drawing anything. Okay, I would have liked drawing it on the board, but since we don't have the chance, so this is how we do it. Anyway, so we have the eight planets and their moons. I'd like also to mention that the moons here, since you are language majors, it's not it's not the correct or scientific term. This is more like a metonymy for something. Ay, no, is it metonymy or synecdoche? Nalibog na ko po na. But anyway, this is the name of our moon. The name of our star within the system is the sun, and the name of the satellite that goes around the planet Earth is the moon. Okay, so moon ang pangalan sa satellite. That's a satellite. Anything that is round, that revolves around anything, I mean, a planet other than asteroids, it's considered to be a satellite. So the moon is the name of the satellite that revolves around the Earth. And we also have the dwarf planets, the asteroids, the comets, and the meteoroids. So that those things are what make up the solar system. So all planets revolve around the sun the same direction, which is eastward, which means from west to east. And the planets rotate or spin on their axis. So while having a revolution around the sun, they're also rotating on their own. Like it's turning. And you may ask, ano nag-turn na siya? The answer for that is it's because of the gravity of the sun. But still, it would have been easier if I could draw it. But anyway, yeah. Let's just go on. You could search about that. So here are the inner planets. The inner planets, what's the difference between the inner and those that are the outer planet is that the inner planets are solid planets. Like if you are an alien or someone who has supernatural power, when you go into any of these four planets, you could land on something solid Like when you go to the Mercury, it's it's solid. Venus is also solid, but still a lot of volcanoes erupting as well. Not a lot, pero yeah, it's very hot in there. And then the Earth, of course, the Earth is mainly solid. Like you could stand on it, on, like on its surface, and then Mars as well. So these are called these are Earth-like. Therefore, their other term is terrestrial. So we have the Mercury, which is the closest planet around the sun, and having the smallest orbit, ay, the shortest orbit, pasabot na, is mas paspas pod makatuyok around the sun. So one rotation around the sun is called a revolution. And for Mercury, having the shortest orbit, it only takes around 88 Earth days. So around um almost 3 months. Like tulo lang, wala lang kaabot og tulo ka bulan, Mercury is already able to complete one revolution. Okay, see. And now we have Venus as well. Now Venus is actually visible to our naked eye. So, ang kaning Venus is the brightest planet that we could look at, mainly because it is very near to Earth, like tapad lang gini sila sa Earth. The other planets that you could see are actually katong, you could see somehow Mars, pero not very clear since it's red, and the red having a dark background is not that obvious. The other planets that are visible are Saturn and Jupiter. Makita na sila besides the moon and the sun, of course. Pero you could also see Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, and Venus. Pero among all of these, Venus is the brightest. Now, how would you be able to identify that? When you look at the sky, if there is a very bright circle in there, yellowish circle in there that does not blink, pasabot ana is that is a planet. Di na siya nagablink because it is quite near to the Earth and it is not obscured, like dili kayo maagi-agian og other dili kayo maagian og other things like asteroids or other heavenly bodies. Dili kayo maagian ang iyang light when it travels to Earth. That is why it becomes the brightest planet and it does not twinkle. And then we have the Earth, the blue planet within the terrestrial planets. And it only has one satellite. By the way, Mercury and Venus do not have their own moons. Wala siya satellite. So Earth has one, which is called the moon. And then the fourth terrestrial planet is the red planet called Mars. And it has two moons that are not round but asteroid-like. And they are called Phobos and Deimos. Ang kani sila actually, they are asteroid-like because in the beginning, they are merely asteroids. After manggod aning Mars is naatong katong belt, like a belt of asteroid, like nakabungkag na asteroid that's rotating, na siya kaugalingon pud nga orbit. So that is balimurag ang pasunod niya ano, like for example, the sun and then the orbit of Mercury and then Venus, Earth and then Mars. And then after Mars dili na siya mag Jupiter. Napanay what we refer to as the asteroid belt. The asteroid belt, that is the gap that sets apart the terrestrial and the Jovian planets, the gas giants. Okay, so most possibly kaning Phobos and Deimos, kaning duha ka moons of Mars, they were just merely asteroids before, pero they were attracted by the balimurag na magnet siya, na attract siya sa gravity of Mars. That is why it no longer rotates in the asteroid belt, but now revolves around Mars. Sige. And then we have the asteroid belt, what I've mentioned a while ago. And before, the largest asteroid used to be Ceres, which is around 940 kilometers in diameter. Pero in 2006, the IAU reclassified it as a dwarf planet. And in fact, it's the only dwarf planet that is found inside, na siya duol sa sun. because the rest of the dwarf planets are beyond Neptune. Okay, so siya ang nasa pinakadoon sa sun. So because Ceres now is being reclassified into a dwarf planet, therefore the largest asteroid now is Vesta, which is about 525 kilometers across. Like it's a little more than half of Ceres, but it's still the biggest. Now, you may ask me, why is Ceres not considered to be a planet? Ganong dwarf planet lang siya. It is because its gravity is not strong enough to clear its path. Like for example, kumutuyo ka around a certain revolution or orbit, kumutuyo ka ana is, you should clear your path. Either you would be absorbing through gravity, like imong pulling towards you ang katong mga bato-bato nga nagtuyok dito or you could throw them away out of your path. Ingon ana siya. Pero since Ceres does not have its own it has its own gravity, but it's not strong enough to steer clear its path. So okay, di man siya maka-clear sa iyang kaugalingon nga path, still the other asteroids are there in that specific area. Then therefore, it is just considered as a dwarf planet, not an actual planet. So ano siya? Okay, so here are the Jovian planets. Okay, they are called Jovian planets because they are all related to Jove. Kinsa man na si Jove mga English majors sa ato ang Greek mythology. Jove I yeah, Greek and Roman mythology. Jove is the other name for Jupiter, the king of the gods, the king of the the gods, yeah, the god of the heavens. That is Jupiter. That is its Roman name. So Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. It has 95 known moons as of 2025, and it actually has four very famous ones. So first one we have Io. Kaning Io nga moon. This moon is one of the most beautiful moons. It looks beautiful from afar, like it has a lot of color, simply because its surface is full of volcanoes. So, napuno og volcano, mo nang daghan kay full of red, mga bright red, mga yellow, anything that looks like it's burning. Pero from afar, it looks beautiful. No, kinsa man na English majors ang mga ang kinsa man na si Ayo sa Greek myth, patay, impas. Mamay ka Pero bitaw, Io was one of the women whom Zeus liked. Nagustuhan ni Zeus, pero para di siya masakpan, si Io himo niya og baka or bull, nasa duha. Gihimo niya og bull. So that's Io. And then we have Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, all of whom are still part of Greek and Roman mythology. And all of these are named as kanang the most famous planets. I mean satellites in Jupiter. And and then Ganymede is the largest moon in the solar system as well, and it is even bigger than Mercury. Sige. Now, I'd also like to mention, wala ko nasulat diri pero Jupiter has its own set of rings. Na siya kaugaling nga ring. Every gas giant has its own ring from Jupiter until Neptune na anay nagtuyok-tuyok sa ilang ring. Just like, pero ang Saturn, its ring around it is very obvious. Siyang pinakaklaro jud, like when you draw Saturn, there always is a ring around it. Pero all of the planets actually, all of the gas giants have rings around them. The gas giants lang beyond the asteroid belt. Okay, so Saturn is the second largest planet and which has 146 confirmed moons as of 2025. And the largest and most famous of these moons is Titan. And then Saturn's rings are made of ice and rock, thin but wide, and may have formed from a broken moon or comet. Shepherd moons help keep their shape. Okay, so naay mga ginatawag nga shepherd moon that use their own gravity. Kay para ang katong mga kuan, katong mga ice and rock that goes around Saturn would not steer away. So naay nagabira sa iha. Now you may ask, giunsa pagkasinaw or pagka-round sa isa ka planet? The answer for that is gravity. Ano lang yun siya. I cannot fully explain it to you without sounding very scientific, and I know you're not very interested, Charis. Pero anyway, just for another trivia, are you familiar with the term density? Density is the mass per volume, like how heavy something is. The heavier something is, then therefore the heavier something is, like for example, you hold two rocks of similar sizes, but one is heavier than the other. Therefore, one that heavier one is more dense than the other one. Pero Saturn is the least dense of all the planets, and in fact it is lesser dense than water. So if something is then less denser than water, therefore it could float. So Saturn is the only planet in the solar system that will float if it is put in water. Okay? Sige. Next. Ito na, nadubli akong slide. Sige, and then we have Uranus and Neptune. Uranus is the seventh planet from the Sun, and it has 27 known moons, and it has faint dark rings made of dust. Its atmosphere is made of hydrogen, helium, and methane, which gives it a blue-green color. It is also the coldest planet with an average temperature of negative 224 degrees Celsius. And Neptune is the eighth and farthest planet from the Sun, and it has 14 known moons so far, the largest of which is Triton. Uranus, kinsa na si Uranus in Greek mythology? Uranus is the father of the father of Zeus. Like Zeus, kinsay papa ni Zeus? Si Kronos. Isa papa ni Kronos, si Uranus. Okay? So Uranus is the grandfather of the Olympians. Okay, so this, and the Neptune is the Roman name for the god of the sea, because Neptune is very blue, so they named it after the god of the sea. So wano siya Neptune iyang name. And then one of its moons is Triton. Triton is also a creature of the sea, a son of Neptune. So you could, it's very mythological. So its atmosphere is hydrogen, helium, and methane, giving it a deep blue color. So here are the dwarf planets. We have Pluto, which was once considered a planet from 1930 to 2006, and it has a different orbit. So remember, if you still remember, its orbit is not dili sila parehas sa pagkatuyok niya around the sun, but it has a diagonal na orbit, no? Try to research on that. And then this one, number 2, is the one I've mentioned a while ago, Ceres, which is found in the asteroid belt, and is the only planet the only dwarf planet in the inner solar system. So beyond Neptune, kaning Pluto, Ceres, Haumea, and Makemake, all of these are found after Neptune, except kang Ceres, which is found in between Mars and Jupiter. Sige. I won't be discussing anymore about these, just read. And then after that, at the edge of the solar system, we have another belt made of asteroids, made of comets as well, a vast region of icy bodies beyond Neptune's orbit, and is home to many dwarf planets including Pluto, Haumea, Makemake, and Eris. And it contains comets, frozen rocks, and other small solar system bodies, and it is believed to be leftover material from the early solar system. It is the source of many short period comets, like for example Halley's Comet, which comes every 76 years, I believe. And it could come back around 2050s. So, buhay pa ka, taan, ano? Nakaya mo love life, ano? Anyway, so this is a picture of the solar system. So you have the sun, pero this is for illustration purposes, ha? Like, for example, if you look at its, what's the term? Proportion, like the proportion of the sizes. If Earth is as big as this blue something, then Jupiter is not as big as this. It's too small kung kanilang Jupiter. Because what you should remember, there could, a Jupiter could fit around 100 Earths inside it. Inana kadako ang Jupiter. So, at least you get the idea. So, the moon is 1/6 of the Earth's gravity and 1/4 of the Earth's size. And the same side of the moon is always facing the Earth, but the moon still rotates, but in synchronization with the Earth's rotation. This is called tidal locking. Like, for example, one face of the moon is small lang ginato makita. We could never see the back of the moon. Like, what takakita from here, I mean, from Earth. We could not see it because it's just the same side that is facing the moon all the time. Ano siya. So that is called tidal locking. So there are many phases of the moon. We have the new moon. So this is when there is no moon seen in the night sky. It doesn't mean it isn't there, but it's just that it is covered by the earth and no light is reflected in the face of the moon. Then we have the waxing crescent, the first quarter, the waxing gibbous, the full moon, the waning gibbous, the last quarter, and the waning crescent. So, ang inyong i-remember, gibbous is bigger compared to the crescent. Crescent is gamay na lang mabili. So, ano siya. And here are some other solar system terms. First is the lunar eclipse. When you say lunar eclipse, the Earth's shadow falls on the moon. So, pasabot ana, the Earth is in between the sun and the moon. Kaning SEM diri anak nasa presentation. Ang S is for the sun, E is for the Earth, M is for the moon. Pasabot ana, the shadow of the Earth falls on the moon. So, natabunan ang moon sa Earth. Mo nangit-ngit siya. Then we have the solar eclipse. So the moon's shadow falls on the earth. So matabunan sa moon ang atoang sun, like it is aligned. The moon is in between. So what we could only see is the outer edge of the sun, which is called the corolla. Pero of course, corona rather, sorry. Sakin na dito ko corolla. Corona. The corona. So ang kanang corona emits something like an ultraviolet rays that is very dangerous to our eyes. So if there is a solar eclipse, make sure that you wear protective gear. Okay, so if you wish to look at the sun, then have some protection for your eyes while looking. Then we have the spring tide and the neap tide. When we say spring tide, this is the highest high tide and the highest low and the lowest low tide. Okay, mo na siyang spring tide. For example, if the usual tide is 2 meters to 3 meters dito sa kilid, during the spring tide, it goes beyond 2 to 3. It goes to 5 meters. For lowest tide as well, kung na -1, if it's the spring tide, then it goes lower into -2 or -3 meters. Now, for the neap tide, when you say neap tide, we have lower high tides and higher low tides. High tides that are lower than usual and low tides that are higher than usual. That is a neap tide, the opposite of spring tide. And we have the perigee and the apogee. If the prefix peri is used, pasabot duol. The same goes with perihelion. Perigee, the moon is closest to the earth. Perihelion, the sun is closest to the earth because our orbit is just like, it's not circular around the sun, but it's actually katong elliptical something. Try to search na lang what that term is, but it's an elliptical shape. And then we have the apogee. If there is an apo or ap nga, no, nga prefix, it means far. So apogee, G is for moon. I don't know how G is related to the moon. So apogee, the moon is farthest from the earth, and aphelion is the sun is farthest to the earth. Helion here is the sun because Helios is is the sun god in Greek mythology. Like he carries the sun in his chariot and he goes around the earth. So that is perihelion, dalira hinumduman. Pero the perigee, I don't know where the G comes from. And then we have a lot of actually a lot of missions, pero there was only one that was carrying a man inside it, and that was Apollo 11. So it's the first successful manned mission to the moon carrying Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. So they are the first man on the moon on July 16, 1969 at 8:18 p.m. Pero in fact, they are not the first men in space. So sa una mga good katong during the Cold War between America and Russia, they want to be first somewhere, like ako una diri, ako na po diri una, like it's everything is a contest between them. They do not actually fight one, like they do not head to head do some that kind of fighting, pero pauna na sila, like yeah, yun ana lang ginahimo. So the first man in space is Yuri Gagarin, a cosmonaut gani gikan og Russian, si kitsa to ko ingon, si Yuri, yeah, si Yuri Gagarin. Sorry, kalimot na ko. Tigulang na juday ko. Yuri Gagarin. Pero a first man on the moon is Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. Pero sa ilang daw kang Neil Armstrong kay Buzz, Neil Armstrong jumped out of the spacecraft first. Daw, kung tinood to. Anyway, the other terms, we have the asteroid. There's a difference between an asteroid, a meteor, and a meteorite. So it's the same thing, pero what matters is where they are located. So if it is just floating in space, it's an asteroid. Pero if it becomes chipped and kanang gagmay nga mga asteroid na tipak-tipak, so it forms a smaller debris, then therefore it's called a meteoroid. Pero when it enters the atmosphere of the earth, it becomes a meteor, and when it hits the land, like naana siya sa yuta nato, it's now called a meteorite. Okay, sige. Next, the comet comes from the Latin word cometa and the Greek word cometes, which means long-haired. Because when the ancient people looked at the comets, it looks like hair, white hair, oozing out of something that looks icy. So it, and they're actually true that and correct that there are small bodies of rocks, iron, ice, methane, ammonia, carbon dioxide that orbit the sun elliptically. So nagatuyok-tuyok po na sila around the sun, but they are not planets. They are not asteroids, but they're just bits of ice and rocks. And its nucleus, katong the actual rock, the main rock is called the coma, and the tail points away from the sun in a slightly curved manner due to the solar wind. So what you should look at, like when you look at an asteroid, the 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 tail niya that is going away, that is the points away, that is kuan the opposite where the sun is. So the most popular comet is Halley's Comet, which appears every 76 years. So it could possibly appear on, okay, I'm corrected, July 28, 2061. That's its target kuan. Hopefully, nanatay mga uyaban ang time. Sige. And then the star, which is a ball of hydrogen, helium, whose color indicates its temperature. So the hottest stars are blue in color, and the coolest stars are red in color. But it doesn't mean it's cool, di na ta mapasoan na. No. It's still very hot. Very hot yun na siya. Init yun kayo na sila. Pero, it's, compared to the others, it is the coolest. Okay? So, red ang pinaka-cool, pero still very hot. And then the hottest is blue. Usually, the hottest stars are also the big stars na po. Some stars grow bigger when it grows older. Thankfully, our sun is still around the yellow to the yellow-white na range. And then the constellation is a group of stars forming recognizable patterns. Example, the Ursa Minor and the Orion. Okay, Orion has the belt, like the Tres Marias in its belt that is gone. Now, I'd like to, since there is a mention of constellation in here, I'd like to mention the idea of the difference between astronomy and astrology. Say kalayaan sa astronomy o sa astrology. Astronomy is the study of the heavenly bodies. Mo na atong ginastudihan karon. What we're discussing is part of astronomy. Pero when we say astrology, that is an ancient science which is now no longer considered to be big science. They believed man good ang katong the alchemists before. Chemistry was once called alchemy before. Uh, the alchemists before believed that the position of the stars in the sky have an effect on people. Mo nang naatang tinatawag karon na horoscope. So tanaw-tanaw nila ng mga star, ang mga Taurus karon kay makakita og 5,000. Ang mga Aries karon kay magkauyab. Yun ana ang mga storya nila. So the patterns, they look at the sky, they interpret it somehow. I don't know how, pero that was astrology before, and now considered to be a quack science. Like it's just they're thinking of it as a joke. And then we have Proxima Centauri. So Proxima Centauri or Centauri is the nearest star to the solar system. Okay, nearest star to the solar system. And then Sirius is the brightest star from the Earth. Okay, so this is, if I remember correctly, Sirius is called the dog star. Kindly search na lang. I'm just adding bits and pieces of what I remember from my readings from way back elementary. So, wala na, share lang. And then we have the North Star or the Polaris of the Ursa Minor. The North Star is the only star that does not kuan. Kita mo ng star trails. Try to Google ragud unya. Or you could pause the video. Like, you could search for star trails. Unsay spelling ana bantay lang yun mo. Star trail nga kanang trail, like a pathway, like TRAIL, and has star trail. There is one star that all the other stars revolve around. So that lonely star is called Polaris, and it is one of the many stars in the Ursa Minor constellation. The North Star is used by travelers before who do not have a compass. Ang North Star, it always points the true north because it does not change its position in the sky. So, yeah, try to search on that. You should know this ha kay kuan ba yan ni general knowledge, like it is expected na kabalo mo tanan ani. Dapat kanita na akong student kabalo mo ani. Sige. Now we have the geologic time scale. So the time so far, with time immemorial, it's divided into four. So eon is the largest, the epoch is the smallest. So the eon is the largest division of geologic time, which lasts hundreds of millions to billions of years. Like for example, we have the Phanerozoic eon, which is around 541 million years ago until today. We're still in that Phanerozoic eon. What that means, I don't know. But I'll just Google it. And then we have the era. The era is a subdivision of an eon that lasts tens to hundreds of millions of years. For example, we have the Paleozoic era, the Mesozoic era, where the dinosaurs are, and we have the Cenozoic or the Cenozoic era, however you pronounce this one. It's the Cenozoic era where we are in. Okay, so it's this Cenozoic era. So eon largest, which is further divided into era, and the era is later divided by the periods. So a period is a subdivision of an era which lasts tens of millions of years. Like for example, the Mesozoic era, the era where the dinosaurs are, is divided into three. Like for example, we have the Triassic period, the Jurassic period, and the Cretaceous era. Ang katong Triassic period, this is the time when the bacteria, which I've mentioned during the previous videos, this is the time when bacteria began merging into multicellular beings, and the beings that are under the water are slowly going out of the water, like on land. That is the Triassic period. So there are a lot of I don't remember. I no longer remember the names of these. They are not yet called dinosaurs. Anyway, Google na lang inyo guys. I still remember the picture of that katong mura siya og Stegosaurus. But it's not a Stegosaurus. Like, yeah, I don't remember. Pero you could search that. Pero during the Jurassic period, that's the golden age for dinosaurs. Like, can you imagine? Like, dinosaurs were in this earth for more than 30 million years. No? It's a lot. Like, they could have been the humans before. No, what if that's true? And then lastly, we have the epoch. The epoch is the subdivision of a period. So, ang kaning koan, for example, the Cretaceous era was divided into the early Cretaceous epoch and the late Cretaceous epoch where the dinosaurs died. Pero the Cenozoic era as well is divided into the Quaternary period. The Quaternary period is the fourth period among inside the Cenozoic era. Okay, and then that is its period. And then inside the Quaternary period, there are two epochs. We have the Pleistocene. This is the Ice Age. There are already humans in the latter part of the Pleistocene, and that's Pleistocene and the Holocene. Stone Age or Ice Age. I-search na lang yung feeling ako kanya nabaliktad or unsa ba. But anyway, we are in the Holocene epoch. Okay, in the second epoch of the Quaternary period in the Cenozoic era in the sa tong term ganyan Phanerozoic eon. Mulabas na sa exam. Memorize kay mag-memorize man, mag-abli-abli mo akong video during sa inyong exam, magabaan siya mo tanaw ang Ginoo. Okay, now let's move into the Earth. So the Earth is divided into the following spheres. There are four spheres of the Earth. First one is the land part, which covers around one fourth of the Earth's surface. So that's the lithosphere. And then we have the hydrosphere, which covers around 3/4 of the Earth's surface, called the hydrosphere, the water part, the liquid part. And we have the atmosphere, or the air, which covers everything above the lithosphere and the hydrosphere. And then we have all the living beings around the Earth, the six kingdoms that we have discussed already, and they are the biosphere. So the Earth has its own layers. The first one on the surface is called the crust. The crust is the outermost layer of the Earth, and it's quite thin compared to the mantle and the core. The mantle is the nasa tunga-tunga below the crust is the mantle, which is quite rocky, pero still there are already liquefied magma in here. So it composed of unsa ng C, silicon, it has oxygen, iron, magnesium, calcium, and it is denser than the crust, ang mantle. Pero it's already very hot in here. Nagdubli-dubli man niya akong PPT og slide. And then we have the core, which is the innermost layer of the Earth. It's the central part of the Earth. The liquid outer core is primarily made of iron and nickel. And then the inner core is primarily made of iron and is solid. So The outer core is liquefied and very hot, and the inner core is iron and it is solid. As to how they know this, I don't know. I've never been to the Earth's core. And then we have the continental drift theory. This is by Alfred Wegener, and it's his main basis for the continental drift theory is the jigsaw-like shape. Like when you try to connect South America to that of North America, it somehow kind of fits like a puzzle. So mo na siya. That is why kana si Alfred Wegener believes that the continents drift. In fact, I somehow agree to these perspectives. Kana kung inyo makita nga mga mountain ranges, mountain range like mga bulubundukin kung sa Filipino pa, those are actually created either by the kuan magbangga ang duha ka plates. Like for example, um, what's that kanang naay kuan Mount Everest, the Himalayas. Ang kanang kuan, kanang India was not according to the continental drift theory, no, if I remember. Yeah, I think I'm quite sure about what I'm gonna tell you. India is not part before sa Asian continent. Pero it is a separate it's a separate what do you call it? Plate. Yeah, it's a separate plate. Pero because it continues to clash into the Asian continent, mo nang na-create ng the Himalayas where the Mount Everest is. So that is how mountain ranges are formed, like the Andes, as well as nganong, if you might ask, no, when you look at the map, ngano man nga, 'di ba, when you look at Europe and Asia, it's like they are just connected to each other when you look at the map. Pero in truth, what divides Europe to that of Asia is another set of mountain ranges called the Ural Mountains. Ural Mountains. I don't know Ural. Pero yeah, that long mountain range in Russia called the Ural Mountain, that is what divides Europe to that of Asia. And that is what divides what divides Russia into its European nga part and its Asian nga part, the Siberian part. Okay. And it was composed of a supercontinent called Pangaea, and then that supercontinent was divided into two subcontinents called Gondwana and Laurasia. Yes. My God, dapat ka balamuan ha. So any movement of the ground due to volcanic eruption or tectonic plate movement is called an earthquake. So it is composed of three, na foreshock, like murag na hinay-hinay, that very feeble nga pag-shake before the actual strong shaking, which is the main shock, mo na ang foreshock. Okay? And then slowly, na mag-abot-abot nga gagmay nga linog, that is now the aftershock. So what you should remember are these terms as well. The focus is the actual part where the movement of the fault happened. Ang fault is the line in between two plates. Like the plate, mag-abot ng doka plate, that is called the fault. And if either one of the plates would move or two of the plates would move, the part kung asa nagalinog is called the focus, where the two plates meet. Pero the place right above the focus is called the epicenter. So ang epicenter, that is not the actual linog na area, but that is above sa source sa linog. And then we have the magnitude and the intensity. What's the difference between a magnitude and the intensity? Ang magnitude is the energy release, ang kakusugon jud nga actual sa isa ka linog, like how strong the linog actually is. So the magnitude will always be consistent. So it's consistent. If when I say magnitude 7.5 tong linog or 7.8, whatever, katong nga linog that is around 7 plus, and that is consistent wherever you are in the country. Okay, that is consistent because that is the actual strength of the earthquake. Pero ang intensity is ang iyang damage, like daghan ba siyang nasira. That is why ang katong linog sa Cebu, which is 6.9, is considered to be more intense compared to the linog here in Manay. I mean, no offense, di man ni siya pakusganay og linog, no. Pero the thing here is that there are lesser damage here in Davao Oriental for two reasons. First one is that ang katong linog is quite far from the actual surface, like the focus is quite far from the epicenter, which is the place above the actual focus. So, mo na siya, that is the first reason. Second reason is that wala kaayoy building diri sa Davao Oriental, like there are no tall buildings. If you've been to Cebu, if you've been to Cebu, it actually is quite developed na nga area. That is why there are a lot of damages that could happen. Like what if the epicenter of the earthquake is at the actual Cebu or even Mandaue or unsa nang isa ka city Talisay, either of the three, or even unsa nang sa Mactan, ang airport city ba ng Mactan, that island. So if it's around that area, na-appeal din ang linog dira, ano, like you could see the bridges swing. Pero it would have been a bigger damage if it's closer to that area. The intensity would have been bigger. Again, inyong i-remember, magnitude ang kakusugon, intensity is kadako sa iyang damage. Okay? That is the difference. And then we have minerals and rocks. Minerals are defined as a naturally occurring inorganic crystalline solid element or compound composed of an ordered arrangement of atoms with a specific chemical composition. So ipasabot ana. Wala na, no. Lisod kaayo. Pero anyway, when I say mineral, this is a solid formation of a specific element. Like for example, it is within a rock. Okay, usually minerals are within rocks itself. So it solidifies, and it it grows within the rocks as well, because it undergoes the same process as the rocks do. Like there is sedimentation, there is erosion, there is weathering, there is also metamorphism. So yun na siya, it hardens, it softens, pero it goes with the rocks. Ang rocks actually is just soil that is hardened, pero ang kaning mineral, these are the actual elements that are hardened and quite big enough for us to see, and they are mixed with the rocks. So the minerals and the rocks are measured in terms of the hardness through Mohs scale of hardness. Ang pinaka soft anything is compared to these stones. So anyone who would be measuring the level of hardness of a rock, they should have these 10 rocks. Talc is the softest, diamond is the hardest. So they will be comparing the hardness of the rock to that of to any of these rocks kaning naadriya kaning 10. Talc is the softest, diamond is the hardest. So here are the rocks as well. Nagdubli-dubli jud na akong pipitida. Sige, kani diri anang takay para next na diretso. Okay, the rock is a naturally formed solid made up of one or more kinds of minerals. So, ano siya na siya mga minerals kanang mga bato. And I'd like to tell you, some rocks have metals in them. Some rocks also have crystals in them. Some rocks also have fossils in them. It is because they are formed by what happened before. Like for example, the igneous rocks, they are hardened magma or lava, like it comes from volcanoes that happened before. And then sedimentary rocks, usually this is formed by the process of lithification. What is lithification? It is when when soil is hardened, kay napisat siya na datugan og mga heavy anything that there is no other solution or no other direction for it or route for it to go through but to harden. Mahimo siya og bato. Ang kanang yuta nga pino or ang kanang mga balas, if you kanang dat o gana nimo siya og applyan na nimo siya og pressure for a long time, then it would undergo the process of lithification. Okay, and then mo na siya, that is sedimentary rocks. Usually, sedimentary rocks are found in rivers, kanang mga balason nga area as well. And areas which were rivers before, that is sedimentary rocks. And then we have the metamorphic rocks. Both ang kaning igneous and the sedimentary rocks could undergo metamorphism. Like for example, if for a long time it is subjected to heat and pressure, so they become harder. So ang kaning igneous rocks o sedimentary rocks especially are very brittle. Like kung ilabay nimo na ang mga bato, mabungkag. Pero ang kaning metamorphic rock, labay-labay na mo dugay na siya mabungkag. Imo pa na siyang dukdukon jud. Because they are subjected to heat and pressure, solidifying them into something that is quite dense. Usually, mas taas ang density aning metamorphic rocks compared to the igneous and the sedimentary rocks. Now, weathering and erosion. If we have lithification a while ago, which is the solidifying of the soil and the sand, we have also this one wherein the pieces of rocks are broken. We have weathering. Weathering is a breaking of rocks, soil, and their minerals through direct contact with Earth's atmosphere, waters, or living things. Like, for example, there are some valleys which are formed by rivers. Like the more nga naay river na daghang tubig nag-agi, pinakutkot niya ang yuta. Therefore, it burrows downward. The river becomes deeper and it creates a valley. That is part of weathering. That is normal. Pero also, people could also be the ones who do the weathering. Like ginakutkot ang rock like in a quarry. That is part of weathering. Unnatural weathering. And then we have erosion. Refers to the removal of solid particles in the natural environment, which usually occurs due to transport by wind and water. That is erosion. Ang weathering is usually for rocks and soil. Erosion is a long-term nga weathering, and usually it is done by wind and water. Ay, hapit na kita mahuman. Hapit na mahuman. Ay, hapit na juday mahuman. Salamat, Lord. Sige. Hapit na mahuman nga part. Pero tiwasan na ako ni haapilan na ako ni chemistry kay grabe madato na ko aning tinanan ninyo sa akong mga video. Sige. The hydrosphere, all the waters of the earth and 3/4 or 75% of the earth's surface is submerged in water. And the abundance of water is the main reason the earth is habitable. There's only one other place in one of the moons of nakalimot ko where where water is present, but it's not yet tested. So the earth is so far the only place that is habitable by humans. So there is the water cycle in here. So it's composed of actually 9 ka-process. Pero ato lang sa siyang inarrow down into 5. First one, we have evaporation or the transpiration. Unsay kalayhan? Evaporation is when water turns to vapor from oceans, from lakes. Gikan sa actual nga yuta, kanang when you smell petrichor, kanang bahog yuta. That is part of the evaporation process. Like the mud hardens and it evaporates, that is evaporation. Pero ang transpiration, kabantay mo anang kanang buntag because of the respiration process in plants, diba? During the day, ang plants would undergo photosynthesis and its byproduct di siya end product ha, byproduct is oxygen. Pero during the evening, ang katong glucose that was the end product of the photosynthesis is broken down into adenosine triphosphate, the ATP or energy and starch. And its byproduct is water and carbon dioxide. Mao nang magtubig asa gikan ang tubig sa plants kanang hamog sa buntag nga wa man ulan kagabi. That is part of the plant's plant's respiration. It's a byproduct. Ang pag-evaporate ng mga hamog sa ilang mga dahon, that is called transpiration. Transpiration for plants, evaporation for the rest. Okay, and then we have condensation. Condensation is when ang katong water vapor is being cooled and it becomes liquid. So from gas state to liquid state, it is condensation. So this liquid state, it forms katong ang water vapor when it becomes cooler, it 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 becomes katong mga rain na good. So it's just clouds at first, and it is called the condensation nuclei. Say spelling. Sige. And number 3, precipitation. Precipitation is when ang katong mga cooled ng water vapor is already too heavy, so it falls back to the earth. So it could be in 4 possible forms. We have the rain, which is the usual precipitation, and then we have the snow as well, like the icy one, and then we have the bigger ones, katong dagko ang mga solid na nga ice that are quite small. It's called the sleet, sleet, and then we have the larger ones called the hail. Okay, we have again the rain, the snow, the sleet, and the hail. Those are the 4 forms of precipitation. And then we have infiltration or percolation. This is when the water soaks into the ground, like mosulod ang water sa ground, it's absorbed by the ground and it is gathered so that it forms moadto siya sa mga aquifers. Ano aquifer? Kakita mo nang kanang bomba sa tubig. Na siya ginakuhaan nga sa source of water underground. Ang katong source of water underground where the poso takes water from is called an aquifer. Okay, ana siya, it's the underground water. And they flow into larger bodies of water, like it flows into rivers, it flows into lakes, it flows into the sea and the ocean. So that is percolation, the gathering, the seeping of water, seeping, the seeping of water down into the aquifers is percolation. And the last process is called the runoff or the collection, wherein that water that is collected flows into the rivers, the lakes, and the oceans. So, mabalik na po na siya og evaporate later on. So, this is a cycle. After the collection, it undergoes the evaporation process again. No, it's so amazing how the Lord created the earth. Okay, sige. So we have the world's oceans. Before there were 4, but 1 is added into the salad bowl. So we have the Southern Ocean. I have added a map in here. So this is where this is the Earth, like a flattened version of a globe. So the smallest one is here at the top. It's called the Arctic Ocean. It's the Arctic Circle, like it's very good, and a lot of the waters here are icy, gahi ang uban, solid in form. And then we have the Atlantic Ocean. Kaning Atlantic Ocean is in between kaning Americas and kaning Europe and Africa. So sa ilang tunga na Atlantic Ocean, we need to cross the Atlantic Ocean. And then we have the Indian Ocean below Asia and in the eastern part of Africa. That is the Indian Ocean. And the biggest one is kaning unahan sa after the Philippines and Japan. I don't know if you know where the Philippines is. Basta kanitasan ni Australia. Those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 countries. Ka-7 ang Philippines. So, if you see Australia in here, kana sa taas niya is the Philippines, and kanang kuan na sa taas ng dili pa na mao nang directly above Australia ha. Above Australia, we have Papua New Guinea. Kita mo ng dako-dako mga island nga murag camel or dinosaur. Ang iyang eastern part kanang nasa right ninyo is Papua New Guinea. Ang kanang nasa iyang left, natunga magod na siyang island. That is part of Indonesia. Okay, sa taas ana niya Philippines. Kailan mo sa dagway sa Philippines. Pero that is Pacific Ocean. It's very wide and it goes around into the diri sa North America mabalik siya because it's a globe. And the newest one is the Southern Ocean, the ocean below the Atlantic Ocean that links it to Antarctica. That is the Southern Ocean. Okay, sige, the atmosphere na ta. Paspasan na to ni the atmosphere, or 1 hour na. The atmosphere deals with this, is studied with meteorology. Ano meteorology? Because wala ko kabalo. Meteorology is not the study of meteors. It deals with the study of atmosphere, the elements that produce weather and climate. Uy, wala nang akong kuandriya. So here are the layers of the atmosphere. The troposphere, the lowermost where weather occurs. Stratosphere has the ozone layer. Ang nakasulod there is O3 because ozone is O with 3 oxygen molecules. Kaya mo na siya O3, protecting us against ultraviolet rays. The mesosphere, the thermosphere, the exosphere, and the Kármán line, which is the boundary that separates the Earth's atmosphere and outer space. Okay. So, other wind and climate system. If a storm happens, like a disturbance happens in the Pacific Ocean, it's called a typhoon. If something like a disturbance happens in the Indian Ocean, it's called a tropical cyclone or a cyclone. And if it happens in the Atlantic Ocean, it's called a hurricane. And then there are some other terms I'd like to discuss with you. Greenhouse is the thermal blanket, the accumulation of carbon dioxide and other gases which causes the trapping of radiation from the sun, and it increases temperature. What I should remind you is that the greenhouse effect is natural. Like it's the Earth's way of maintaining temperature. Like it could increase temperature from time to time, it goes downwards. That is natural. Naadyo na siya. Wala pang sa Filipino. Wala pa'y tao sa kalibutan na anay greenhouse effect. It's a normal cycle of our Earth. Pero, because of human activity, nga ginapadaghan niya ang carbon dioxide, ang methane and ammonia in the air, mahimo siya o managhan, imbis ang greenhouse is just kadali lang siya, tungod sa kadaghan sa carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, it increases the temperature more. Kaya mas madugay man mahuman ang greenhouse effect. Therefore, it becomes global warming. Global warming is due to man's intervention sa mga tao, while greenhouse effect is normal. Okay, so when the greenhouse effect is enhanced, or it's called an enhanced greenhouse effect, it's now called global warming. Sige, so here are other pollutions. You have land pollution, the air pollution, and the water pollution. There are also 3 kinds of water pollution. We have the point source pollution. So this means that the factory pour its waste directly into the water. The source of the pollution is in that exact point. Ano siya. Whereas ang non-point source pollution is just more of like, di ba remember, in the water cycle, part of the water that goes into the aquifer is through percolation. So, ano siya, so, ang kanang wastes as well have water in them from septic tanks, from the subdivisions, kanang mga ginapanglabay sa sapa nga kuan sa mga nangagi nga mga tao, like ipanghulog lang sa sapa, not directly like madala lang siya dito up, that the actual source is not there. Therefore, it is non-point source pollution. And then lastly, we have eutrophication. This is when fishes die in some bodies of water, especially if there are a lot of algae that blooms on its surface. So, masobra naman kadagan og mga algae sa surface. Therefore, the sunlight could not penetrate the water itself. So mamatay ang mga hayop under the kuan because oxygen is also reduced. That is eutrophication. Still part of water pollution. Ay, salamat chemistry na ta. My second favorite. Tiwasan lang natin ha. Kung ano lang dyan siya mga ay God, taas pa day. Sige, kaya pa na ako ni. Sige. Now, let's move forward into chemistry. Okay, di na tama naman tamo ipabalancing ano lingaw jud ta kayo ang balancing. That's one of the most enjoyable things in life. Like when you balance equations, when you balance sa katong chemical compositions. Ana siya. Because sige, anyway, we have physical change and chemical change. Mo nitong similar atong sa digestion nga part. You have the physical digestion and the chemical digestion. Say kalahian. Ang physical is it's only a change of size or shape or state of subdivision. That is the physical change. Like mautro lang iyang now, but it's still that thing. Like for example, paper. It's a flat paper, but when you crumple it, it's already round and no longer flat. Pero still, that is paper. Meaning, it's paper but different og now. Another, ang wood, imo ang chap-chapon, kahoy lang gyapon siya, pero lahi na og now. And then the rocks, if you break them into powder, it's still the rock before, pero it is in a different size and shape. Whereas ang chemical change is there is a chemical composition. It's called an oxidation that happens in here. There is oxidation, the application of burning or the application of oxygen in something. Like for example, if iron is exposed to air, it undergoes oxidation, therefore rust is created. Rust is iron plus oxygen. So what is iron? Fe plus O. O2. Ano siya? So that is iron oxide or the rust. So anything that you will burn is chemical change. Ang inyong i-remember, ang kalahian sa physical change o chemical change that ang physical change is pwede ninyo pa mabalik sa iyang actual state. The state before there, you could still identify it. Pero ang chemical change is different. Usually, it changes or it produces something new out of the combustion effect. So, tanaw na ninyo. Nice picture next. The atom. Ba naman ako nag-discuss before, guys, no? The atom is the smallest possible unit into which matter can be divided while still maintaining its properties. And these are the building blocks of matter. And it's composed of protons, positive, neutrons, the neutrally charged, and electrons or the negatively charged. Inyo lang i-remember as well, in the table of elements, we have what we refer to as the atomic number. The atomic number corresponds to the number of protons in a certain atom. Like for example, hydrogen. Hydrogen, iyang atomic number is 1. Pasabot na siya isa ka proton. Okay? So, proton ang basis. How about the newest one? Katong oganesson. Oganesson is the newest element, the number 118. Pasabot ana, ang oganesson atom has 118 protons. Okay? So, memorize na ninyo. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, carbon, neon, charis. So, wala na pita ako kahinumdum, guys. Pero, yeah, you should know it. Now, what's the difference between a substance and an element? A substance is anything that exhibits properties and composition. It could be an element. It could also be a compound. Okay, so it could be a pure substance if it only consists of one element. So, ang element is only composed of one type of atom. Like, for example, a gold bar, that is a pure substance composed of gold atoms. ano siya. So, muna siya ako naman siya ganina no. Oganesson. This is the newest and the heaviest atom so far, discovered in 2002. So here are the classification of elements. You have the metal, the non-metal, and the metalloid. Ang metal, ang iyalang kuan is they are a good conductor of heat and electricity, and most of them, if not all, kindly double check na lang. Most of them, if not all, are kanang ma-attract siya sa magnet. And then we have most of these are solid except mercury and gallium. Both are metallic, pero in room temperature, they are liquid. Okay, those are metals. And then you have the non-metals, like for example, carbon, we have oxygen, bromine, sulfur. They are non-metals and they are poor conductors. If something is a poor conductor or even could not conduct heat and electricity, therefore it's called an insulator. No. And we have metalloid, which is anything that has both the properties of metals and non-metals. Ang katong nasa baba, katong ako separate na kuan, most of them are metalloids. So, compounds. If natong if elements, isa lang ka kabuok nga element in it. Pero when you mix elements, it forms compounds. Like for example, water is composed of 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 oxygen, so H2O. Ang carbon dioxide is CO2. Dapat nakasub na siya, pero ang buti man masub siya, mugamay ang 2 sa kadva. You don't know how to do it. And then, we have table sugar, C12, meaning 12 ka carbon atoms, 22 ka hydrogen, and 11 ka oxygen. That is table sugar. Kanang ginagamit nato sa inyong kape or mo tamis inyong life. And then we have the table salt, which is sodium chloride. Na is for sodium. Isa ka sodium atom, isa pod ka chlorine. Isa ka chlorine na atom. That is the table salt. There are also 2 types of bonds, the covalent bonds and the ionic bonds. Covalent bonds is when there is a sharing of atoms. Ano nang wala ko ma-example diri? The sharing of electrons of 2 or more non-metals. Like, for example, I don't know guys. Wala na akong nalalaman. Kalimot na ko ani. Basta, if they are non-metals that are sharing an electron, therefore covalent bonds. Siguro example ani is carbon dioxide. And then for ionic bonds, this is the bonding. Sana all na bonding between metals and non-metals. Like for example, sodium chloride. Sodium is metal, chlorine is not. Sodium, therefore ionic bond. Sodium fluoride. Sodium is metal, fluorine is not. Ano siya? And then we have a mixture, a substance consisting of 2 or more substances that have been combined without chemical bonding taking place, therefore physical combination. Ikaw ang actual nga nagkuan. It could either be homogeneous or heterogeneous. Pag homogeneous is, you could only see it as one. Like, dili siya parehas anang nag-fruit salad ka. Makita nimo, mao ni ang pipino. Ay, unsa bang fruit salad? Mao ni ang, unsa nang nasa 2 days ba? Mao ni ang kapayas, mao ni ang pineapple, mao ni ang papaya, o cherry, social. Okay, so homogeneous mixture, dili siya fruit salad. Like, it's just one state. Like, for example, when you mix water and sugar, like kutawon dyan mo siya, it becomes a solution, like it's clear, but it's brown. Okay, that is homogeneous mixture. And then we have heterogeneous mixture, like you could visually distinguish what composes the mixture. And usually, some of these kay nagalugdang. Okay, so for example, salad, gravel. Gravel is cemento, macaroni, soup. Magsabaw ka, that is actually a mixture. Cake itself, like the dough, the plastics, the fog, and the paints. Okay, they are heterogeneous ang mixture. And then we have colloid. Kanang pag mulutaw lang ang, di siya mulutaw, like it does not move. For example, if you buy a mayonnaise, kita nimo sa mayonnaise nga naasok tong mga pipino, mga atsal, pero it does not go down or so na, settle at the bottom, pasabot colloid na siya. So example for that is milk. Di ba ang milk actually naalay mulutaw nga katong soft curd, white curd at the top of it kung imo lang pabugnawon. That is a colloid. Gelatin katong jelly ace, clouds, plastics. Clouds just stay at the top of the atmosphere. We have plastic, foams, emotions, and souls. Souls? Isang souls? Ang but, minsan ako, dili na ko sure what I am typing here. And then suspension. It contains larger particles that eventually settle out. Particles have to be resuspended. Dapat kutawon siya balik para di imulugdang. For example, kanin yung kalpol. You have chocolate milk as well. Kanang mga Milo. Those are suspensions. Like, if in a long time you do not drink the Milo, ang brown ana is mulugdang na sa baba. And then we have powdered orange juice. Dili nang kanang orange juice nga gipiga mismo sa orange. Pero kanang powdered, ha? See. Salamat. Physics at last. At last, physics. Physics is one of the most amazing sciences. Sagol mo siya science ug math, so very crazy. Anyway, physics is the branch of science that studies matter, energy, and their interactions in space and time. So, the study of matter and energy and their relationship. So, matter, everything around us is matter, just the energy that goes around them. That is physics. How the matter moves, how the pieces of matter are destroyed or created. Mo na siya. It should follow the laws of physics. So, here are some basic units. Okay. Ang sa ana is maglagot po ning kanwa ay pananggalon niya ako mga symbol katong murag unsaon ako na pag-drawing murag siya letter O nga wala na human sa baba and then naay lines sa isig kilid. Google it. Now motion is a change in position of an object. Motion is movement. Like if something moves and therefore there is work, there is a displacement from the original location. Okay, so it happens when an object shifts from one point to another, whether in a straight line, along a curve, or in more complex paths. As long as something changes location, therefore there is motion. It could be described in terms of displacement. Unsa nang displacement? Unsa ang kalahian aning lugar nga iyang gitindugan karon? Like for example, at first is nagpuyo mo sa Martinez niya pagkahuman nagtanan man mo sa imong kachat na inyong balay sa likod sa dorso, meaning there is displacement, a change in location. That is displacement. We have distance, ang kalayo sa imuhang gilagputan. Speed is how fast you go to a certain direction, how fast you go. Velocity is direction and speed per second. And then we have acceleration, like the change in speed. And it results from the action of forces as explained in Newton's laws. So we have the laws of motion in here, according to Newton. First, the law of inertia. So every object continues in its state of rest or of uniform motion with constant speed in a straight line unless acted upon by unbalanced external forces impressed upon. One of its most obvious example is the use of unsa nang pag sakay ka, the seat belt. The seat belt is a true force, external force that stops you from displaying inertia in motion. Like for example, if you suddenly stop a car from moving, kabantay mga murag mo abante ta kadali. because it doesn't mean nga mahunong og kalit ang car is mahunong pud ang tanan nga nasa sulod. There is inertia, like there is a constant push manggod every time that the car moves forward, so you are being pushed. So if the push suddenly stops, you still continue to move forward. That is why there is a need for you to be seatbelted, nakay seatbelt. Second one, the law of acceleration. So when enough force is applied, the object will accelerate. Accelerate pasabot there is also already a movement that is happening, but if force is applied into the object that is moving, therefore the speed of the object increases. So the more that force is applied, the more that the object speeds or accelerates in speed. Okay, so in this case, according to uh, unsa ni? To Isaac Newton. According to Isaac Newton, therefore, the amount of force that is applied is directly proportional to the acceleration of the object. No. Sige. And the third law of motion, the law of action and reaction. So every action will always have an opposite and equal reaction. Kung ituklod nimo ang someone, there will always, the reaction will be that someone will be moving forward as well in response to your action. So whenever one object exerts a force on the second object exerts an equal and opposite force on the first. So you could not push on someone if that someone's uh, if that someone is as strong as you. So if equal lang ang inyong kakusugon, therefore you would not be able to force them, like to push them forward. Dapat one should be lesser ang force nga ginakuan over the other. And we have energy, the property of a system that enables it to do work, and it has two types. You have potential energy or energy at rest, like for example, gravitational energy, electromagnetic energy, and weak nuclear potential energy. So it is not moving, but there is already energy in that thing. Okay, that is potential energy. And energy in motion is called kinetic energy, like the movement of machines, mechanical energy. The energy, like for the creation of heat coming from the ground, that is thermal energy, electrical energy, and electromagnetic radiation. Okay, the traversing of electric waves, electromagnetic waves in space. That is not a vacuum. That is either not a vacuum or a vacuum. That is electromagnetic radiation. And the law of conservation of energy states that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, and it can only be transformed from one form to another or transferred between objects. But the total amount of energy in a closed system remains constant. This is found out by Albert Einstein. And the energy and the amount of matter around the universe remains consistent, and this is expressed in Einstein's formula, E equals mc squared. Sige, di na ako mag-discuss kayo na kay abin ninyo bright na jud kayo ko. Now, thermodynamics, the study of heat and its transformation to different forms of energy, because heat is not created nor destroyed, it just transfers. That's why we have thermodynamics. So we have heat or thermal energy. So energy produced as heat is transferred from object with higher temperature to that with lower temperature until it reaches equilibrium. Okay, that energy is transferred in the form of heat. Okay, and dapat equal na siya ang temperatures in order for it to achieve a kindling and equal temperature. Like for example, ayun na lang. Basta dapat mo equal na siya, that is equilibrium. And then there are some methods of heat transfer like conduction, like something is directly in contact with something, like conduction cooker. Ipatong nimo atong coil ang imuhang lutuanan Therefore, init man ang coil, mainit po ang imuhang karahay. That is conduction. Katong induction stove ninyo, conduction na siya. Convection is when heat is transferred through air and water. Like, like for example, ang air fryer, that is convection. Okay? And then radiation, this is when heat is transferred through rays or waves. Like for example, kanang pang-init nga murag kanang mutingog nga oven nga dili nimo pwede aplihan o dili ka pwede magbutang og bakal sa sulod. Kana, that is radiation. As well as the sun itself. The sun does not directly is not directly in contact with the earth. And it does not transfer heat through air and water, but instead it transfers it through waves, solar waves. That is radiation. And it is usually emitted by a very hot object. Okay, that is radiation. Hindi naman mo next. Okay, so the light and the sounds. The light is the fastest thing in the universe. So it travels in the speed of light is 3 times 108 meters per second. And this is faster than sound, at least 3 times faster than sound. But actually, ang kanang kilat is dapat sabay na sila sa dalugdog jud, because ang kanang dugdog, the thunder, is the sound of the lightning. Pero since the light travels faster than the sound, walang maiwit ang lightning. That is why it could be used. There are some sciences that could tell you how far away is the storm. So, kung asa man ang storm, dito man nakikilat. So, how they do it? If this is how I do it. Magbuot-buot lagi. This is how I do it. Like, for example, when you look at the sky and mukidlat siya, you count how many seconds. Example, 15 seconds before ni dalugdog. Like, for example, nagkidlat siya, and then nag-wait pa siya 15 seconds before nidalugdog. You divide it by 5, and that would be the distance kung unsa kalayo sa imuhang gitindugan ang bagyo in kilometers. Was it in kilometers or miles? I think it's in kilometers. So, for example, katong nidalugdog siya after 15 seconds divided by 5, therefore, 3 kilometers away sa imuhang gitindugan ang actual nga bagyo. Okay, it travels faster in a vacuum, next in gas, next in liquid, next in solid, especially those which are transparent or even translucent. Ano na about niya ang mga nearsighted and farsighted? Kabalo naman eh. And salamat, the last slide. Sound is a mechanical wave and travels fast in solid, next in liquid, next in gas, but it cannot travel in a vacuum. In other words, masking magpa-music ka dito sa space, dili ka makadungog sa imuhang music. Okay, there is no sound in space. Yay! Hopefully you have learned everything. Tanan nga mo labas akong exam kina diri sa PPT og tanan ako ay wala diri sa PPT, tanan kay ako ang gisulti. So good luck guys. On Friday I'll be sending the link for the exam and I'll be closing it in a specific time. That will be all, and I hope you learned something from me. Congratulations for making it this far.